Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam aham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So on behalf of His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, for International Society for Krishna Consciousness, I welcome all the devotees today. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So tomorrow is a very, very auspicious day. Anybody knows? Tomorrow there's a birthday. Kal. So tomorrow is the birthday of ISKCON. Yes. Tomorrow is the Tithi when Prabhupada in 1966, Tithi wise 13th July incorporated this entire society. So after Prabhupada went to America, after all his struggle, finally on 13th July 1966, Prabhupada started this in ISKCON movement officially. So Tithi wise, so tomorrow is our appearance day of ISKCON. So very, very wonderful. And this week we had two. One is our Gopal Bhatta Goswami, one of our Suhrdh Goswami, and today is Loknath Swami Maharaj's disappearance day. So Pankaj Prabhu was saying that cooking has started late, so we have a lot of time. So, so we can sing Jaya Anilo Premadana, we can do some kirtan. So today I think after 9:30 only the prasadam will be ready. So we have a lot of time. So thank you once again. Welcome. So today's topic is entering Akrura, one of the devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, entering Vrindavan Dham. So these days, since Janmashtami is soon coming, the countdown begins, less than 30 days. So we are celebrating on 15th August, which is a holiday. So keeping that in mind, we are all these Fridays, Saturdays, we are discussing something on Lord Shri Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan. So last Friday it was so beautiful. Her Grace Karuna May Radhika Mataji, Radha Mataji, and Her Grace Shiromani Kishori Mataji so beautifully explained so many pastimes. So it's very wonderful to listen to these pastimes again and again. Even though we know everything, but when we hear, it looks afresh. So that is the beauty of spiritual life. It is Nava Yovan. Every time you hear, it is fresh. Not like material. So in material life, you must have watched a very super hit movie 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Then slowly, the taste or that excitement finishes. But since Krishna is always fresh, Nava Yovanam, it's said that Krishna, when he was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, his age was almost 125 years. But he was looking like a 16-year-old boy. So that is above 16, Krishna doesn't age. So aging stops. So that is the beauty of our Supreme Lord. So we are very grateful to Prabhupada who gave us this entire wealth of Krishna consciousness. So before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were living a life of Shrama Evahi Kevalam. We were doing everything perfectly, studying, lot of everything was perfect. But since Krishna was not part of it, it was Shrama Evahi Kevalam, useless labor. But Prabhupada came in our life, he told us what is the goal of life, and then it got transformed. So then it became, we got what? Raja Vidya. We got the very, very highest knowledge, king of all knowledge. Raja Guhyam, the most confidential. Pavitram, the most pure. And Pratyakshavagam. So whoever was not knowing who is God, where he stays, what is his address, how he looks. So Pratyaksha, now we can actually have that experience, right? So here Radha Gopinath is right there. And all of you by chanting and having so many experiences in your life, you all must have experienced some to a certain degree, right? What is Krishna's mercy or blessing. So Pratyaksha Agamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. It is very happy, right? So anybody coming here on Friday, you all come happily, right? Even though it is raining. So everybody waits for Friday, right? Yeah, you should wait. At least after 9:30 you will get good prasad. Even if the lecture is boring, kirtan is very good. Sometimes there are speakers like me also who will put you to sleep. So anybody has sleeping problem, 1 hour you'll get good sleep without any pills. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Fayda hi fayda hai, from starting to end. Right? So it is like that. So today we will take a beautiful incident from Srimad Bhagavatam. So like I explained to you, it is Akrura, one of Krishna's uncle. So Akrura was Krishna's uncle. So he was cousin of Vasudev and Kamsa. And they were staying in Mathura. So what was happening when Kamsa came to know that who is going to kill him? Krishna is going to kill him. So fortunate, he knows how he will die and who will kill him. So when he came to know, he was devising lot of plans. So every day after he came to know, he was sending so many demons to Vrindavan. Whatever we know are very few demons, but it is said every day minimum 5 to 6 demons used to come to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan there was no time. So morning when the one demon is killed, it is breakfast time. So that is how they used to keep the time. Afternoon, one demon is killed, lunch. Evening, dinner. So that is how the Vrindavan Vasis used to keep the time. So every demon that was coming was getting killed. And they were very, very powerful demons, so not ordinary demons. So Kamsa was thinking that somehow or the other I have to be saved. And I know who is going to kill me. And the problem is that all my plans are not succeeding. So he thought maybe Krishna is powerful in his own land. We have no cricket match in away and at home, right? So if you win a match away from home, then it is given more credit, right? So usi tarah Kamsa was thinking Krishna in Vrindavan is powerful because that is his territory. So that's the reason I am failing. So what I have to do? I have to change my strategy now. I have to bring Krishna to Mathura. And when he comes to Mathura, then it is my territory. I can kill him easily. So he was thinking now who to send. So, and what is the reason? So then he thought, first of all, he organized a big festival, Dhanur Yagya. So that bow, whoever comes and breaks the bow, he'll get rewarded. So what he told, then he chose Akrura. Because he knew that Akrura had affection for Krishna, that he loved Krishna. So if I send Akrura on this mission, Akrura will somehow or the other convince Krishna and Balram to come to Mathura. So he thought Akrura is the best person. So what he did? He called Akrura and said, Akrura, I am giving you a mission. And your mission is, you have to go to Vrindavan and get Krishna and Balram here. And for what? So he said, I am organizing a Dhanur Yagya, a big festival. So let them also take part. In Vrindavan they must be getting bored. So here they will have a nice, like a picnic. Now Akrura was smart. He knew that Kamsa is a big demon and he is afraid that Krishna is going to kill him. That's the reason he is having some devious plan. That's the reason he is trying to get Krishna and Balram to Vrindavan. But he was very happy because he is getting a chance to go to Vrindavan. So he was grateful. And what Kamsa did, he said, and I am giving you a brand new chariot, a golden chariot. So here we can understand even Kamsa is teaching us a lesson. Anything that we offer to Krishna has to be the best. And Akrura was good that he is not giving some used chariot where already Kamsa had sat and polluted it. So he gave him a brand new chariot and Akrura was very, very happy. Why he was happy? Because he is going to go to Vrindavan and get darshan of his Lord. And he knew even if Kamsa is trying some plans to kill Krishna and Balram, that will not happen. Because Akrura very well knew that Krishna is not an ordinary person. Even though he is acting as his nephew, he is who? The Supreme Lord. Akrura knew about it. Kamsa, being a demon, the demonic mentality is what? Even when they know there is somebody superior to them, still they do not accept because of their nature. So what happened? So the first thing that we understand. So now here we are trying to understand what should be the mood of a person who can enter into a Dham. So in Bhagavatam when you go home, you all can read this wonderful chapter. 38th chapter, 10th canto, 38th chapter. The title is Akrura's arrival in Vrindavan. So Sukhdeva Goswami said, after passing the night in the city of Mathura, the high-minded Akrura mounted his chariot and set off for the covered village of Nanda Maharaj. So it was a day of Ekadashi when he got the information. So he observed Ekadashi, and next day was Dvadashi, the day he was supposed to travel to Vrindavan. As he travelled on the road, the great soul Akrura felt tremendous devotion for the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, and thus he began to consider as follows. Now, before he started, he was very happy now. So we also should be joyful. Whenever we are coming to Fridays, I asked you all without taking your permission whether you all are happy. So even if you all are not happy, you all have to be at least artificially happy. Okay? So whenever you are going for any satsang or any spiritual program that is which is authoritative, you should be always happy because you are going to do something auspicious activity. So Akrura was very, very happy. But the very next moment, he felt that I am very, very unqualified. Okay? That should be the mood of every person. Because we are also from Kamsa's party. Because we are still not pure. So Akrura thought, I have spent all my life serving Kamsa, such a demon. And he hates Krishna. He considers Krishna as his enemy. And I have been serving him. So I am such an unqualified person. So how I can enter Vrindavan? So that was his mood. And if you even see Prabhupada's life, Prabhupada, if you see his poem that he wrote on Jalduta, so he writes that my name is Bhakti Vedanta. What is my name? Bhakti Vedanta. But Vedant means a knowledgeable person. And Prabhupada writes that I neither have knowledge and I don't have bhakti. So this is what Prabhupada is writing. So this is the mood, and Prabhupada is not just writing for just to fake it. Prabhupada actually felt that way. So he is writing, and if you want to make my name meaning come true, it's only by your mercy. So he is praying to Krishna. Even though my name is Bhakti Vedanta, I neither have knowledge, neither do I have bhakti. So please help me to fulfill the meaning of my name. So even Prabhupada used to feel unqualified. Once, everybody was praising Prabhupada. And because ISKCON had become such a big name now, so everybody was saying, Jai Prabhupada, it's all because of you. And Prabhupada simply banged the table and he said, just stop, it's because the mercy of my Guru Maharaj. It's because of the mercy of my Guru Maharaj that all this thing is happening. Personally, I don't have any credit. So this is the first and biggest quality we should have. We should always feel unqualified. So now if you are unqualified, then how can we enter, right? So the second quality here, now Akrura is showing. What is? He is very, very hopeful. Okay, so he is saying, okay, Akrura thought, what pious deeds have I done? What severe austerities undergone? What worship performed? Or what charity given, so that today I will see Lord Sri Keshava. So he is thinking. So even sometimes we should also not sometimes sit and contemplate. When we chant Hare Krishna, when we are associating, what we must have done that we got this opportunity to be part of this such a wonderful movement of Hare Krishna, right? Like once one of Prabhupada's disciple, he was sitting with his disciple, His Holiness Bhakti Bring Govind Swami Maharaj. And he was asking his devotees, what do you think, what qualification you all think that you all got this opportunity to perform devotional service? So some said Agya Sukruti, and some said in past life maybe I had done some devotion, lot of things. And then he started laughing. He's a spiritual master, right? He started laughing and he said, this is all nonsense. You know what happened actually? Prabhupada lay a trap. The way the bird catcher lays a trap, no? And the birds come and they put some grains and then they get trapped. So similarly, this is what happened to us. There was an advertisement, journey of self-discovery, Samshas Prasad, free entrance, Kirtan. So we also went and saw, ये क्या है? चलो जाके देखते हैं क्या है. And when we came here, we got trapped. Actually, we got trapped. हम लोग अपने मर्जी से नहीं आए. If we had used our mind and intelligence, no, next day we wouldn't have come to the program only. क्या है वहाँ पे कांदा नहीं लहसुन नहीं क्या खिलाते ये लोग. We would have thought and we would have gone. और क्या नाचते हैं ये लोग बार बार, हाँ, हरे कृष्णा, हमारा दम मारो दम के आगे क्या है ये. This what we would have thought. Even when Prabhupada started, you know that Dham Maro Dham, that Devanand, he actually used ISKCON to make that super hit movie. And people then thought that Krishna, Hare Krishna consciousness means yehi, like just take drugs and. So actually he was trying to give us negative publicity, but Krishna was there. It actually turned the other way. Just people seeing that, we got actually positive publicity. So actually Prabhupada has laid a trap. We came to see what it is and we got stuck. So that is our big fortune. So really we are very, very fortunate to Prabhupada. So he is thinking, what pious activities I have done? Nothing. We didn't do anything. Since I am a materialistic person absorbed simply in sense gratification, I think it is difficult for me to have gotten this opportunity to see Lord Uttama Shloka. Uttama Shloka means the Lord who is praised with the best of poetries, choicest prayers. It would be for it, Uttama Shloka, as it would be for one born as Shudra to be allowed to recite the Vedic mantra. So now see, he is a Kshatriya. He is not a low born, but still he is considering him as Shudra. So, but enough of such thoughts. Now here see. So he first thought that I am unqualified, but now he is hopeful. So in our life, even though we are unqualified, we should always be hopeful. Okay? हम लोग भले ही we have कोई योग्यता नहीं है, but we should be hopeful. This entire movement, if you see, it's filled with hope. A person, it is like said, no, hope is like a rope that swings you back to life. So the hope is this rope. So if you see the entire, if a person is fallen in a very deep well, what are his chances of coming on his own? इधर भी अपना एक कुआं है ना, इसमें अगर गिर गया कोई, coming on top on his own tough है ना, but if somebody, all the devotees come together, वो rope है ना इधर ही जगन्नाथ का, अगर वो फेंक दिया नीचे, and everybody pulls him, he can come out easily, right? So that is what it is. So never be hopeless. I mean, we are hopeless, but don't be less of hope. Prabhupada actually said, you know, कि you are all hopeless. Kali Yuga means, he told his disciples that Kali Yuga means hopeless case. कुछ मतलब कोई chance नहीं है. But we have one hope, that is our acharyas. They are full of compassion, right? They are full of compassion. So if somebody throws a rope, we are drowning in the well, and they pull us out, easily we can come out. So we have to just hold on to that rope. When Prabhupada said, no, you hold on to my dhoti, I'll take you to the back seat. ये ऐसे ही नहीं बोला प्रभुपाद ने. Suppose there's a big function going on, Z security, and all big ministers are there. Okay, and nobody is allowed inside. Forget, 4-5 kilometer तक नाकाबंदी. You cannot even pass that area. But suppose PM comes to you and says, come with me, sit in my car. कोई आपको रोकेगा? You are sitting with the PM. उधर security पूछेगा भी नहीं आपको. He will give you that same honor because you are walking with the PM. So this is the position Prabhupada has in the spiritual world. So if Prabhupada wants, he can take you from the front door of the spiritual world. But that is his humility. Okay, if we walk with Prabhupada in the spiritual world, now even Jai Vijay won't ask, ये कौन है? That is Prabhupada's position there. हाँ, Prabhupada के साथ है मतलब ये इसको भी, हाँ, वो हमको भी सलाम मारेगा. Yes, Prabhuji, please go. So when Prabhupada says, no, I can take you through the, just hold my dhoti, don't think कि Prabhupada ने ऐसे बोल दिया है. Prabhupada का वो position है वहाँ पे. Prabhupada is a 24 hours access card. वहाँ पे time नहीं है. Means Prabhupada can anytime walk in and walk out. और अगर हम Prabhupada के साथ है तो हम भी धीरे से अंदर we can sneak in the spiritual world. So that is our hope. So this entire movement is filled with hope. So never, no matter what happens in our life, no matter how bad we are, अभी भी मतलब this old conditioning is still there, right? अभी भी जपा हम लोग कैसे कैसे करते हैं. We hear so many lectures, we get inspired. लेकिन घर जाने के बाद क्या होता है, माया देवी पकड़ लेती है. बोला अभी वहाँ का प्रोग्राम खत्म, अभी मेरा प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट. So we actually surrender to Maya Devi more than, so that inspiration is there. वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा है, but because of a conditioning, it waters down. But do not get, what you call, be hopeful. So if you see now, Prabhupada is such a miraculous person. So once this Rath Yatra, since we just celebrated Rath Yatra, Prabhupada once wanted to have Rath Yatra in US, in the topmost city. Which is the topmost city in US? New York. and in the most famous, in that city, most famous area called 5th Avenue. And nobody was getting any permission there. Forget Hare Krishna, किसी को भी permission नहीं देता, because it was a very small street and the most busiest street. So nobody used to get permission. But Prabhupada said, I want to have Rath Yatra here. Like Prabhupada said, I want to have temple in Mumbai, in Juhu. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord, so he has to get the best. तो इंडिया में सबसे बड़ा शहर कौन सा है? मुंबई. मुंबई में जुहू. So this was Prabhupada. He used to say, I have a disease, I cannot think small. I always think big. So that was Prabhupada. So हमको भी. So अभी क्या करेंगे? Spiritual master desire. So Toshan Krishna Prabhu. So he said, if Prabhupada wants, what is there to try? So he prepared all the letters for approvals, everything, and he went to the mayor. तो जो नीचे रहते ना, जो application and all they take, they said, it is just futile, you are just wasting your time, you won't get permission. He said, you do at least you forward it. So ऐसा करते करते application, it reached the main person who is the in charge, who will give permission. So he came, 2-3 times used to come, and he used to be said, no, he is not there today, come today. And finally one day, that person was there, that main person who is supposed to give the, and he said, see, it is useless going there, he will just reject. He said, let me go and meet him. So that person had the application right in front of him, and he's saying, actually I don't want to sign, I don't want to give permission, but I don't know why I am giving you permission. That's it. He's telling that I don't know, I don't want to give you permission, this is not right, we can't give, but I don't know why I am giving you. And he just signs and gives him. And that is how the historic first Rath Yatra in New York at 5th Avenue in 1976 took place, 75. So this is Prabhupada. When Prabhupada has a desire, when such a pure devotee has a desire, it happens. And it was like even the person who said you won't get permission, he was also shocked. So that is what it is. It's full of miracle. Once when Vietnam War was going on, a devotee came and told Prabhupada, it is a system here, we have to, whether we want or we don't want, we are sent for war. We have to be in the army. So Prabhupada said, what nonsense, give me. He wrote a letter. We are having a more important mission. We don't have time for all this nonsense war. And he said, go and give it to the person who is. So he saw, okay, granted. Actually when Prabhupada wrote, he said, ऐसा letter पकड़ के तो मुझे 2 साल की जगह 4 साल, I mean, he'll keep me in army. Because what Prabhupada wrote, we don't have time for all this nonsense war. So he just read, okay, granted. And he was so happy, Prabhupada, I don't have to be in the army. They granted. So this is how it is, Prabhupada's. Even that day, Gaurang Prabhu was telling, when Shyam Sundar Prabhu, one of Prabhupada's most amazing disciple, he is the first Jagannath deities which were cowed by Shyam Sundar Prabhu. So Gaurang Prabhu saying, when he was caught for this, before he became a devotee, he was dealing with drugs. So he was caught after that, and he went and told Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was full of compassion. He did not say, kya aisa drugs mein kaam karta tha? Prabhupada in fact told him, I was also dealing in drugs. I had Parag pharmacy. So pharmacy is that, no, chemist and druggist. And he said, don't worry. And he was sentenced for 2 years. But by Prabhupada's mercy, within 6 months, he was released. How? Nobody knows. That is how. This mission is full of miracles. We have to be full of hope. Okay, so whoever is here, don't worry what is your past and how you are struggling today. Just know that you are in safe hands of Prabhupada. Only thing, do not leave his shelter. Prabhupada and his disciples. As long as you pakad ke roko Prabhupada ka shelter, you will sail through all the difficulties. Only thing, you have to be sincere. यहाँ पे क्या है? We have to be sincere. We have to be sincere. And what it takes to be sincere? Sincere means sincere. उसका और कोई definition नहीं. Okay? Duplicity will not help. Then हम लोग, we are just cheating ourselves. Prabhupada has nothing to lose. Okay? Be sincere. जो है वो है. Try. Prabhupada will help us. So he was very, very hopeful. I may be unqualified, but who I am going to meet? The Supreme Lord, Achyuta Darshanam. He can give his darshan to anybody. Anybody who went to Vrindavan to kill him, उनका क्या हुआ? He lifted them. सबका उद्धार हुआ. They got the spiritual, what you call, Swarupa. Hatha Gata Swarupam. So when you get killed by Krishna, automatically you go back to the spiritual world. And like Sandeep Krishna wrote that they beautifully explained, even Mataji explained that Putna also, she came with the intention of killing, but Lord saw the intention that she was trying to feed me and gave her what? The position of a mother in the spiritual world permanently. So this is how our Lord is. So we should always be hopeful. So now he continues. Now see what he says. Today all my sinful reactions have been eradicated and my birth has become worthwhile, since I will be offering my obeisances to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, which mystic yogis meditate upon. So all these big yogis who meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord, he is saying just by taking darshan, all my sins will be eradicated. Now, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu was beautifully explaining. We know, Krishna's lotus feet, there are marks on it, right? Lotus, then thunderbolt, then umbrella, fish, all these marks are there. So अगर कोई बोलता है ना मैं भगवान हूँ, तो उसको बोलने का कुछ नहीं, थोड़ा आपका पैर का चिन्ह दिखाओ. वो not one which is drawn, permanent वाला. So what he was saying, that those that thunderbolt which is there, that mark which is there on Lord's lotus feet, when Lord keeps that lotus feet on our head, no, so that thunderbolt actually क्या करता है? It completely smashes all our karmic reaction. And Krishna कैसे खड़े रहते हैं? ऐसा करके. So it is always active. Lord रामचंद्र बाकी सब कैसे ऐसा पाँव नीचे रखते हैं, लेकिन कृष्णा का हमेशा पाँव ऐसा रहता है. So it is always active. रामचंद्र का लॉर्ड राम एंड ऑल वो लोग ज़मीन पे रखते हैं. It is dormant. Dormant. So when we take shelter of him, that thunderbolt, what it does, it totally destroys our entire sinful reactions, all our karmic reaction. So similarly, that umbrella he was explaining, that mark of umbrella. So whenever Lord goes, there is somebody who is holding umbrella, right? So it is like respect. So हम लोग भले ही अपना कुछ भी हो, when we take shelter of Krishna's, we suddenly start getting respect everywhere. सब लोग हमको प्रभु जी, माता जी, अरे ये तो कृष्ण के भगवान है, भगवान के भक्त है. तो that reminds me of another incident. Once श्याम सुंदर प्रभु कुछ तो काम था, मुंबई में गाड़ी चला रहे थे. And he is the person who has driven in US, जहाँ पे everybody follows the signals. I mean all the rules and regulation. लेकिन मुंबई में चलाते चलाते क्या हुआ, उन्होंने एक आदमी को धक्का मारा. And now he got afraid. अभी लोग शायद आके मेरी पिटाई करेंगे. But go to see, उल्टा हुआ. वो जिसको धक्का मारा था ना, सब लोगों ने उसकी पिटाई करना शुरू कर दिया. तो उसको लगा यहाँ पे शायद उल्टा होता है, पहले उसको मारेंगे फिर मुझे मारेंगे. और फिर क्या हुआ, उसको मारने के बाद उसको बोले प्लीज़ आप जाइए, आप जा सकते हैं. तो वो डर गए, क्या है, गलती मेरी है, मैंने उसको धक्का मारा. तो उसने पूछा, एक्चुअली गलती मेरी थी, इट वॉज माई मिस्टेक, वाई यू बीट हिम? नो, यू आर लॉर्ड सर्वेंट. उसने आपको डिस्टर्ब किया, यू आर ऑन अ मिशन टू डू सम सर्विस फॉर लॉर्ड. आके आपका पूरा टाइम बर्बाद किया. तो ही वॉज बाबरे बाब, मतलब so he was actually explaining, when we wear this dhoti, kurta, tilak, we are actually getting, people are giving us a different kind of respect. So we have to always be careful. जब हम ये पहन के निकलते ना attire, we are representing Prabhupada, we are representing ISKCON. तो हमेशा याद रखिए, मतलब that time how we deal with people, right? Don't be like किसी के साथ कैसे भी बात किया, then they will think अरे ये ISKCON वाले ये भी ऐसे ही है क्या. So he was surprised. तो बोले नहीं आप जाइए, इसने आपको डिस्टर्ब किया, आप भगवान के बड़े सेवक हो. So that is how it is, we get respect. So he was explaining. Then lotus, what is the meaning of lotus? Lords. So he is saying, we are in this material world, right? Where is lotus? Where does lotus take this? Grows? Among all the कीचड़ में होता है ना. So we are also like a पूरा material world, it is filled with all unwanted things. And in between, we are trying to do bhakti. So we are like that lotus, trying to be like that lotus. आजू बाजू में सब क्या चल रहा है? Everybody is breaking all the 4 regulative principles. People are living so materialistically. It is full कीचड़ से भरा हुआ है पूरा भौतिक जगत. उसके बीच में हम लोग भक्ति कर रहे हैं. So that is the explanation of being lotus. So today all my sinful. Then further. In it today, King Kamsa has shown me extreme mercy. Now see here, he is even feeling grateful to Kamsa. Kyun? Because Kamsa has sent him no, to meet Krishna, that too with a new chariot. So anybody who helps us in Krishna consciousness, we should always be grateful. तो हम जब अभी डोनेशन लेने जाते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हमको कुछ बोल के भी कभी कभी दे देते हैं डोनेशन, तो वी शुड बी ग्रेटफुल. भले ही कुछ भी बोला उसने, लेकिन दिया ना, 100 रुपये तो दिया भगवान की सेवा में. आपका जो टारगेट में हेल्प करेगा ना वो तो उस तरह से एवरीबडी हु हेल्प्स अस इन आवर कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, वी शुड बी ग्रेटफुल. ओके. So in it, today Kamsa has shown me extreme mercy by sending me to see the lotus feet of the Lord Hari, who has now appeared in this world. Simply by the effulgence of his toenails, many souls in the past have transcended the insurmountable darkness of material existence and achieved liberation. So these are the glories of the Lord, just by seeing just his toenails. Those lotus feet are worshipped by Brahma, Shiva and all the other demigods, by the goddess of fortune, and also by the great sages and Vaishnavas. Upon those lotus feet, the Lord walks about the forest while herding the cows with his companions, and those feet are smeared with kumkum from the gopi's breast. Surely I shall see the face of Lord Mukunda. So this is like when he's traveling now, throughout the journey he is just thinking about Krishna, totally immersed, absorbed in the... So it is said to reach from Mathura to Vrindavan it takes hardly half an hour. But by the time he reached, it was evening. He was so much immersed that he was having no direction. He was just allowing the chariot to go anywhere. So ऐसा करते करते उसको शाम हो गई. So we should also be absorbed in thinking about Krishna in the similar way. Whether we are working, whether we are traveling, wherever we are, जितना हो सके, we should be absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. हम लोग कभी कभी यात्रा में क्या करते हैं, अभी 3 घंटा है तो हम लोग अभी आराम करते थोड़ा, वहाँ पे पहुँचने के बाद भक्ति ही करनी है कंटिन्यूस, हम लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं ना, तो ऐसा नहीं. सो वी शुड ऑलवेज बी इमर्स्ड, एंड वेदर वी आर ट्रैवलिंग टू द धाम और नॉट, आवर एंटायर लाइफ शुड बी इमर्स्ड इन थिंकिंग अबाउट कृष्णा. Even in office, when we are doing our work also, so even if you see, Krishna instructed the same thing to Arjuna, right? When you are fighting the war also, what you do? You just think about me and Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha, right? So throughout our life, we should always be absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. Okay? Surely I shall see the face of Lord Mukunda since the deer are now walking past me on my right. Then that face framed by his curly hair is beautiful by his attractive cheeks and nose, his smiling glances. So everything he is just thinking about the Lord's beautiful face. And again he is thinking, I am going to see the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the reservoir of all beauty, who by his own sweet will has assumed a human-like form to relieve the earth of her burden. Thus, there is no denying that my eyes will achieve the perfection of their existence. So, ऐसा करते करते he reaches, by evening, he reaches Vrindavan. And the moment he reaches the Vrindavan boundary, he sees, what he sees? He sees the footprints of Krishna and Balram on the Vraja. So, it is said, we should always take the shelter of Vraja Dham by taking shelter of the Vraja Dhuli. So the moment he sees the lotus, the prints, he jumps from his chariot and starts rolling on the dust of Vrindavan. And by doing this, the Acharya says he exhibits 3 qualities. One is quality of fearlessness, quality of pridelessness, and quality of free from lamentation. Okay? So how does that? So pridelessness means, now like I explained, the Vrindavan Vasis are just coward men, ordinary people. And Akrura is a minister in Kamsa's government and a Kshatriya. So externally if you see, he is having a higher post. But the moment he sees Krishna's and Balram's footprints on the dust of Vrindavan, he starts rolling. So by this he is showing fearlessness means what? He doesn't think now if Kamsa comes to know, I am Kamsa's man and Kamsa had sent me to bring Krishna to Vrindavan, I mean Mathura. So if Kamsa comes to know that I am from Krishna's party and I am rolling on the dust, it is an insult to Kamsa, right? So what will happen to me? He might kill me. So this is what we would have thought, right? But what is Akrura thinking? Let Kamsa think whatever, I will take full advantage of this Vrindavan Yatra. And he starts rolling on the dust of Vrindavan. Secondly, he shows pridelessness. He is showing no pride. Abhiman Shunya. So it is said, pride comes from ignorance and knowledge comes from humility. So when you are humble, you get knowledge, and when you are in ignorance, you are always proud. So how to overcome pride? So it is a synonym. Pride means you can overcome pride with pride. So P stands for pass on the credit. So whatever you do in your life, in your bhakti life, always pass on the credit. Okay. R stands for reveal your heart. So in our bhakti, whenever there is any shortcoming, so wherever you require help, you should reveal our heart. So normally what happens? Any good thing happens, we want to take the credit. Anything bad happens, we are ready to point. मुझे पता था, इसने किया इसके वजह से. If it was me, everything would have been smooth. So in bhakti life, we should always pass on the credit, and anything wrong, we should take the blame. Then R is reveal your heart. Anywhere you require, sometimes we do not want to reveal our heart because we think that if I tell these are my shortcomings, then I will be misunderstood. People won't respect me. But if you don't reveal your heart, you won't progress in bhakti. If your chanting is not proper, there are some people, it is said, even there are a lot of initiated devotees who do not chant the 16 rounds. So imagine, matlab aisa. So why? Because, and they won't tell also. Because if they tell, then everybody will look down upon them. So unless you tell, how can you be helped? Right? If a person asks for help, then you can help him, right? So that way. So it is like when you go to a doctor, unless you tell your real problems, the doctor can't help you, right? If you have some problem, when you reveal, tell everything, aisa hota hai, then the doctor can diagnose, right? If you say, no, I'm all right, I'm just having little headache, iske liye aaya hu. So the doctor will just give some headache tablet and leave. But if it is something more deep, the doctor can help you only when you reveal. So similarly, in our spiritual life also, we should reveal our heart. I stands for PRI. I stands for intensify our sadhana. Our sadhana should always be the top priority. Okay, it is said, Prabhupada, there are in a certain way, like health is first, second is sadhana, third is family. So this should be the priority we should always give. So health, never neglect. Second is your sadhana, and third, family. And then comes the preaching. Paropakar is last. Unless you are fit, unless your sadhana is good, unless you are happy in your family life, you won't be able to preach this message. So I is intensify your sadhana. D is develop humility. We should always be humble. And finally, E is engage in menial service. So if you really want to become humble, we should always engage in menial service. So this is how you can overcome pride with pride. So secondly, he was exhibiting pridelessness. So he did not think that I am holding such a big position. These are just ordinary coward boys. No, he was actually taking shelter of the Vrindavan dust. And third is lamentation. So he was free from lamentation. In our life, we either hanker for what we don't have, or we lament for what we have lost. Right? So here, free from lamentation means he was not just thinking, if Kamsa comes to know that I'm doing this, he might throw me out of my minister's position, my family might be killed, we might be thrown from the kingdom, what will happen to us? So none of these considerations were done by Akrura. So this is how Akrura enters Vrindavan. So that should be our mood in our spiritual life. After that, when Krishna and Balram come, okay, they ask their uncle, my dear uncle, they know Akrura is their uncle. And what Krishna do, they take them home, they take Akrura home, and they actually bathe his lotus feet, Akrura's, Krishna and Balram. So they are teaching us etiquette. Even they are the Supreme Lord, they take him home, they do his abhishek, they bathe his lotus feet, and then offer him nice food offering, and then they ask, what is the reason that you have come to Vrindavan? And that time, Akrura tells that, he tells Nanda Maharaj that I have come to take your both the children to Mathura. And Kamsa is just having a Dhanur Yagya. So they will have that, they will, after finishing that festival, they will come back. But Nanda Maharaj and Gopis, they know that once they go back, they will not come. So even in our life, we should never be attached to anything. Today we are in Margaon. Tomorrow we don't know where we'll be. So Krishna could have stayed in Vrindavan for his entire, actually Krishna doesn't leave Vrindavan, but in this pastime, he could have stayed there. But when time comes, you have to move on. And when Krishna left Vrindavan, he never came back again. Right? And all the gopis were totally very, very heartbroken. And then they said, your name is Akrura. Akrura means non-cruel. But the activity that you are doing, you are taking Krishna from Vrindavan, means you are the biggest, the most cruel person. Right? So that is how they said, you are not Akrura, you are Krura. Because you are taking our life from Vrindavan. So that is how Akrura comes and takes Krishna and Balram back to Mathura. And then we know after they reach Mathura, Kamsa, how he is killed and all. So basically this is the entire mood that we also should have in our bhakti life. If you see, unless we are humble, it is very, very difficult to progress in bhakti. So keeping our position, keeping our designation, all our past conditioning, only taking shelter of the holy name and whatever instruction Prabhupada has given us, if we progress, then only we will be able to advance in spiritual life. So that's the reason it is very, very important that if you have taken shelter of Prabhupada, that we only follow his instruction. So like other day we were discussing, all of you parents, when you send your child to a school, right? Throughout the year, do you send them to one school or every day you all send them to different schools? If you have taken admission, say in A school, so every day they will go to the same school. The syllabus they will learn is what is taught in that school, right? Right? Why? Because if they have to pass, they will have to follow that syllabus. So similarly, after coming to spiritual life, after understanding certain things, then what we do, we then start getting attracted by other things also. Right? There are a lot of spiritual gurus in this, in India. Even if you go to Vrindavan also, lot of Babajis are there, a lot of saints are there. But what will happen is, if we keep Prabhupada aside and we get attracted to other teachings, there are a lot of, what will happen is we will water down what Prabhupada has given us. One Prabhupada disciple was saying that before Prabhupada came to America, lot of saints came there. They also chanted Hare Krishna. They also spoke about Bhagavad Gita, but they could make no devotees. Same Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Kalyug Pavana Harinam Sankirtan. But when Prabhupada went and when Prabhupada chanted, he just created a revolution. So that is the purity of Prabhupada. So if you do not take seriously the instructions of Prabhupada, then you just try to get impressed by other things, thinking it is in the name of spirituality, you will just be a spiritual tourist. It won't help you in your bhakti life. Because now what happens, social media, every day there are so many people giving so many quotes, so many pravachans, and they are very, very nice to the ears, you know. Sunne mein acha lagta hai, everything. But then it will be just like a, what you call, the way you go and get entertainment. It won't, transform your heart. It will be just information. It won't transform your heart. So like one devotee said, he just heard the sound of Kartal, Indridum Swami Maharaj, one of the Prabhupada's early disciples, a very amazing preacher. How he became a devotee? He was in his garden in US, and some devotees were just doing kirtan, and he just heard the sound of Kartal. And he thought, I never heard this sound. this kind of music. And he just came to see, and it was all Prabhupada's disciples doing Harinam Sankirtan. That is how he became a devotee. So if you are connected to Prabhupada and the parampara and the teachings of Prabhupada, then only it will help you in your spiritual life. If you simply get attracted to other things, we respect all the saints, we respect all their teachings, but the real transformation will only come when we completely stick to what Prabhupada has given us. If you see Prabhupada's purports, like Prabhupada said, these are words that Krishna is dictating and I am writing. One of his disciples was like amazed. He said, he tried to explain to the reporter, no, Prabhupada is trying to say he gets inspired from Krishna and then he writes. And Prabhupada said, you just stop. I am explaining to him, no. He said, Krishna tells me and I write. So you can imagine the kind of connection Prabhupada has with the Supreme Lord. So that's the reason it is very, very important. After we come here getting knowledge, we should stick only and only to what we are getting here. And that only will help us in our spiritual life. We don't require anything. 16 rounds. Prabhupada said, do 16 rounds. From 64 he brought to 16. He said, read my books. Prabhupada did not say, you complete my books and then you can read whatever you want. No. Prabhupada said, every day read my books. These are instructions of Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada, whatever the deity worship standard, the kirtan standard, if you follow this very religiously, without any dilution, without watering it down, you will definitely advance in bhakti. But what happens to us, हम लोग आते हैं, we get all everything, क्या क्या करना है सब पता चलता है, and then किसी ने स्टेटस पे एक महाराज किसी बाबा का ये डाला, क्या बाबा ने एक प्रवचन दिया, मतलब some words. Now it is very, very easy. Anybody can give any quotes, give lecture, and we can get impressed. And then we also put it as our status. Then क्या होता है वो धीरे धीरे everything, मतलब we take from here, there. That is the reason I was asking school का. Our children, when we send them to certain school, we make sure that they learn that same syllabus what is taught in the school, right? नहीं तो पास होंगे का. Otherwise, do you feel from that school, no, that maths teacher teaches very nice, but उनका syllable अलग है. गोवा बोर्ड नहीं, उनका CBSE है. आपका बच्चा गोवा बोर्ड में पढ़ रहा है. So is it any useful learning that? नहीं तो उसको वो स्कूल में डालो. You understanding what I am trying to say? So Prabhupada has already given us a very, very clear instruction, has given us entire thing. It is on a platter. We have to just follow it. अगर हम इधर भी थोड़ा इधर से थोड़ा उधर से and then we chant Hare Krishna and थोड़ा प्रभुपाद का ज्ञान, थोड़ा इसका ज्ञान, उसका ज्ञान, तो then it will be all, मतलब कुछ होगा नहीं. हाँ, definitely because we are following Prabhupada, we will have some sukruti in our life. But that real aim, ekeha kuru nandana, vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana, bahushaka, if you are two branched, इधर भी जाना है, उधर भी जाना है, इसको भी संतुष्ट करना है, उसको भी करना है, आज उधर भी किसी ने 7 दिन का भागवत सप्ताह रखा है, then it will all be कुछ नहीं होगा. So we have to ask ourselves, what is our aim? So that's the reason Prabhupada was very, very clear. If you want to come back to the spiritual world, you just do what I have told you. And Prabhupada ने इतना कुछ दिया है ना, ये lifetime कम है हमारे पास. Our lifetime is very, very less. So if we give this up and we go here and there like spiritual tourists, then everything will be just like, we will just waste our time. So that's how it should be. So then our life will be successful. So let us use whatever time we have, whatever little time we have, chanting Hare Krishna very, very nicely, very, very attentively. I met one Prabhupada disciple, Her Grace Surabhi Mataji. She told me, if you want to please Prabhupada, chant Hare Krishna very, very, pronounce each and every mantra very, very clearly and attentively. So इतना कुछ करना है हमको, ऐसा नहीं कि 16 माला करना है तो कैसे भी. So she said, if you pronounce it clearly each and every mantra, Prabhupada will be very, very happy. So, and reading Prabhupada books, again, if you have finished reading, again read. So the more we read, because when we read Shastra, our mind becomes purified. So with that purified mind, we can do bhajan kriya very, very nicely. And when our bhajan kriya is nice, our anarthas will disappear. And when our anartha disappears, we come to the stage of nishtha. And then we get ruchi. And then bhava. and then prema. So this is the krama, this is how it progresses. बट हम लोग अभी भी अनर्थ निवृत्ति के स्तर पे है और हम प्रभुपाद को छोड़ के इधर उधर भागते रहते. नॉट दैट वी डो नॉट रीड प्रभुपाद बुक्स, हम उसके साथ और अनवांटेड इधर उधर. सो वी शुड नॉट डू दैट until we reach the spiritual world. I mean, till we reach Golok Vrindavan, because Krishna has told us, no, अपना धाम क्या है? आराध्य भगवान ब्रजेश तनयस. All Gaudiya Vaishnava, the home is Golok Vrindavan, tad Dham Vrindavan. And how to follow that? Ramya Kachita Upasana. How the gopis worship Krishna, that is the way we have to worship. And Ramya Kachita Upasana Vrajavadu. Srimad Bhagavatam, this Bhagavatam is the Pramana. And Prema Pumartha Mahan, the goal of life of all of us is Krishna Prem. We are not here for anything else. In this material life, whether you get something or you don't get something, it is irrelevant. Because as per our karmas, कुछ लोगों को कुछ मिलेगा, कुछ लोगों को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. लेकिन अगर कृष्ण प्रेम मिल गया, ये वाला लाइक आपका लॉटरी लग गया. सो दिस स्पिरिचुअल लॉटरी हर किसी का लग सकता है. इन नॉर्मल मटेरियल लाइफ किसी एक को लगता है ना लॉटरी, राइट? 1 करोड़ किसी एक को लगेगा. लेकिन ये ऐसा है हर किसी को, एवरीबडी कैन गेट दैट लॉटरी. यू कैन नॉट से हाँ उसको मिल गया कृष्ण प्रेम मतलब अभी हमको नहीं मिलेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. हर किसी को मिल सकता है बिकॉज कृष्णा इज अनलिमिटेड. सो दैट वे इट इज. सो विद दिस आई स्टॉप. So we can do some kirtan and we can sing that Jai Anilo Premadana. Normally during Acharya's Tirobhav we sing that, and we can do Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So with that I stop. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki